I love life. Look around the room and kind of get a feel of who's swimming in this sweet ocean of devotion with you. Let us once again wave at those people who are streaming in from around the globe. They're streaming in present moment, as well as some of them wake up because they're in different time zones. They're going to meet the love that you're now extending to them right now. Let us wave at them and saying, welcome to Agape. We're about changing lives for the better here. We can say that. We are about changing lives for the better here. We are downloading heaven, bringing it to earth. Somebody scream about it. It's interesting watching Victor Dickerson do me. It has made me very conscious of some of the things that I do. Because when I'm doing, I'm not thinking about them. But now I'm thinking about it. So we welcome ourselves to this 39th anniversary celebration. Yes. In which we are celebrating 39 years of love in making love visible, making prayers active, making vision a community. 39 years of touching the hearts and minds and souls of countless beings all around the globe. And this month we've been working with this theme of the longing, the calling, and the contribution. Your longing, your calling, your contribution. With the awareness that that longing that is within us sometimes masquerades as loneliness, but it is actually an impulse that is seeking to find a universal outlet. And as we examine it, as we hang with that deep sense of longing, it matures. And we begin to discover that it's actually a calling from the depth of our own being for expression, for a deep and an abiding remembrance of what we promised ourselves before we incarnated. That before you took a human incarnation, you already knew what you were going to run into here. You already knew the vicissitudes of the human experience. You already knew the challenges that would be happening when you got here. The challenge of an old paradigm dying and a new paradigm being born, with all of the mishigash and the mix of it, Reverend Susie. All of the cleansing and the clearing and the intensity and all of the unconscious stuff held in the subconscious of humanity rising to the surface to be transmuted into the light. You already knew you were coming into some mess. Some good stuff happening too. But your calling leads to a contribution that you did not come here to get anything from the world as it appears to be. Your mind may have gotten hijacked temporarily, that you've come to get something. But actually, you have come to contribute. You've come to give. You've come to shine. You've come to radiate. You've come to glow. You've come to allow the light, the luminosity of your own being to reconnect it, as Brother Gary was sharing earlier, reconnected with our spiritual nature, and to bring that to earth and to shine, to glow with the awareness that the highest vibration always wins, that the higher vibration, those thoughts that emerge from a field of unity, are way stronger than thoughts that are emerging from a sense of separation. You have come to be a living tuning fork of possibility and to wake people up by your presence as you awake to the glory of the living one that is within your very being. You have come to make a difference. Say, I've come to make a difference. And so as I was articulating last week, you have come to win the human race. And we've talked about the fact that in chapter 40 of the prophet Isaiah, when he talks about the fact that when all flesh shall see it together, this is a vision of what? Of us crossing the finish line together, not competing with each other, but in communion with each other. So that we're waking up to a shared divinity. I want you to understand what I just said. Say, I'm waking up to a shared divinity. This is why we are here, because there are individuals obviously, there are many cultures, there are many nationalities, there are many languages, there are many shades of colors of skin, there's sexual orientations, there's all manner of seeming differences that are merely the bouquet of God's beautiful garden. And so waking up and winning the human race is an awareness that we all have a shared divinity, and people who are lost within the sauce of separation, bigotry, racism, homophobia, etc. These are individuals who've been brainwashed into separation. These are our little brothers that our consciousness of loving so well has a tendency to wake up. If they're in your presence, a non-reactive presence of unconditional love, we become a dynamic wake-up call for humanity. And all those who are dangling on the strings of a puppeteer that loves division, that loves separation, in order for control to happen, individuals begin to wake up. You have come to win the human race. You have come to feel and to wake up to our shared divinity, all one, shining from the central sun of all creation, the power, the presence, and love of God. The Christos is within you. The Christ presence is within you. The Shekinah of the soul, oh my God, the consciousness of God Almighty is waking up within you. It starts as a longing. It goes to a call, and then it goes to your contribution to the world that only you can give, because you are a unique expression of infinite potential. So only you can give you. If you don't do you, you won't be done. And so you are standing in this dynamic awareness. Say with me, if you will, my life is divine. I am awakening to who I am. And all the good is happening through me now. That's very important, because so many people think that they are a fragment of life looking for the great sense of wholeness. It's the other way around. You are a wholeness that's become hypnotized that you're just a little fragment. All of life is within you, because this life that is infinite cannot divide itself into parts. It is everywhere present in its fullness. So you're not a little old something looking for God. You are the face of divinity waking up and beginning to express through your uniqueness, the creativity, the generosity, the love, all the good that you are here for that. Thus, as we're winning this human race, shared divinity, we begin to understand the topic of the day, which is tag, you're it. Now, what does that mean? This universal presence that birthed the cosmos, multidimensional universes, galaxies, solar system, planets, living biology, all of nature. Living biology is you. You are pure consciousness that can be conscious of yourself. You can be conscious of the thoughts moving through your awareness. You have the same faculty of the presence of God. Out of no thing at all, bam, everything showed up. You can change your life right this moment. Out of no thing at all, you have that same faculty. So the universe is saying in substance, tag, you're it. I'm already cool. I'm already all that. I'm already love, beauty, intelligence, wisdom, harmony, abundance. I'm all that and 2 bags of chips. I'm everything. However, I'm tagging you to represent me. You are to represent me. The universe wants to become conscious of itself as you. I'm going to break this down. The universe is pure consciousness. It is the consciousness of love and beauty and intelligence. It never goes unconscious, but it wants to be conscious as you. That means as you awaken, as you remember who you are, now the universal presence is knowing itself as your life. It already knows its love, beauty, and intelligence and more. But now it gets to know itself as your life. And so you are participating in your own unfoldment. You are participating in your own evolution. You are participating in your own awakening. If you are here, that's what the game is. To participate in your own unfolding, to wake up to a shared divinity and begin to see life as it really is, not as it appears to be in the world. Tag, you're it. And so tag, the T stands for totally, meaning total commitment. Total commitment, a deep and abiding surrender to the participation of the unfolding of your own cellular context, the total commitment. Now, in 1988, I was 13. In 1988, I started Agape at 12. No one respected the young fella. Anyway, I told this story in 1988. Coco will remember it because she was sitting there. And so there's a chicken and a pig walking down the street. You may have heard this. And all of a sudden, the chicken perks up. And the pig said, what's going on? He says, our name is up in lights. They looked up and they said, ham and eggs. And the pig said, what? He said, our name is up in lights. He said, for you, that's a contribution. For me, that's total commitment. Now, unlike the pig, when you have total commitment to your destiny call, you have totally commitment to listening to the eternal broadcast that is everywhere, beckoning you to become more you. Let there be light, let there be beauty, let there be intelligence, let there be life everywhere. The broadcast that's always humming throughout all creation. When you have total commitment, what begins to happen are the limiting the beliefs and all the blockages and hindrances that prevent the presence of God from expressing through you begin to disintegrate, begin to be requalified, because you never had to pray to God to be God. You don't have to pray to God to do anything, because God is total being everywhere, being itself totally and completely. But are you receptive? Are you available? Are you open? Have you yielded? Are you surrendered? Are you walking in that direction? So you don't have to worry about God. God is God. As it states in page 33, the signs of my textbook, never is there a cosmic famine. God is always God. We may stumble, but always there is that eternal voice forever whispering within our ear, that thing which causes the eternal quest, that thing which forever sings and sings. God is God. Love is love. Beauty is beauty. You see? And so we must be total in our commitment. And oftentimes people are afraid of that because they think that they're going to lose something. The only thing you're going to lose is your limiting beliefs about yourself and about life and about the universe, because the universe is on your side. The universe wants to know itself as your life. You already have everything. It wants to express through you totally and completely. So you got to have total commitment. And then there is alignment. The A is alignment. This is very important, because in the quantum field, everything is already done. Infinite ideas, infinite potential, infinite possibilities, you see. And so you don't have to manipulate. You have to come into alignment with what is in the quantum field, or we could say within the mind of God. Are you aware there aren't any problems in the mind of God? It doesn't exist. God's not searching for an answer for something. God is the answer. God is love, peace, joy, wisdom, and harmony. So within the quantum field, there is spiritual ideation. There are spiritual prototypes, infinite possibilities within the heart mind of the infinite already exists. Every invention, everything that you see was held in the heart mind of the infinite, and somebody caught it, synthesized it, brought it into time and space as something that can be valuable to the human race. And so alignment, when you pray, when you meditate, when you do life visioning, when you do your soulful affirmation, when you study, when you're in with a group of individuals that are open-hearted and open-minded, you are making yourself available to that which is eternally being given. I want you to catch this. It is always being given. It's always radiating. You do not pray for the sun to shine. It's shining. Even if there's an eclipse and the world is turning on its axis and you don't see it, it's still shining. Even if there are clouds and you can't see it, it's still shining. So even if there's doubt in your mind, there's a cloud of worry, if the sun is still shining, you're not praying for the sun to shine. You're praying to get the bloated nothingness out of the way of the divine circuit so it can flow according to Ralph Waldo Emerson. And so alignment, you're coming into an alignment with that which is real. That's why we talk about spiritual principles, not just opinions. We're based upon principles that describe how the universe works. It's not an opinion. It's a principle that we totally commit ourselves to and seek to practice on a regular basis. And what does that lead to? The big G, greatness. Say, there's greatness within me. Say it again. Say it again. And say, now I'm setting it free. Now, spiritually, we have to define greatness. Because greatness spiritually is defined as the activity of your compassion, your love, your kindness, your creativity, your generosity, your quickness to forgive. These are the representations of real greatness. In this world, those that are kind, those that are loving, those that are giving, those that are creative, these are great beings. These are beings that through history we love beings because they seem to be so out of alignment with what the world was doing based on their forgiveness, based on their generosity, whatever the case may be. You have come to be great, not being in competition with anyone else but your previous self. So every day you're in competition with who you used to be, so that this version is better than the old version. And this is a continuation of unfoldment. Why? Because you are infinite. Say, I'm infinite. You are infinite being. You've had no beginning and you'll have no end. Yes, one day you may shuffle off the mortal coil and go into the land of the invisible, but you'll still be you, continuing to unfold to your greater yet to be. So there is total commitment. There is coming into an alignment with spiritual practice. There is the release of greatness. And this is built upon what? Discipline that leads to a blissipline. Discipline is better than motivation. Right, Burkay? I'm waiting for an amen from you, brother. Okay. Because I know he knows. Discipline is more important than motivation. It's good to be motivated, but some days you wake up, you don't feel like it. I don't feel like going to the gym today. I don't feel like meditating. I just want to lay in bed. Now, if you're under the weather and all that, we understand. But if you're just operating from emotional reasoning, you are blocking your good. So discipline leads to blissipline. What does that mean? That when you become disciplined in your spiritual practice, this is not a hard, well, I've got to be disciplined, I've got to go do this. No, it's not that. Listen, discipline comes from disciple. Disciple is someone who loves something. You saw a dancer up here, Nicole LaShawn. You saw singers, you saw artists up here. They loved music so much that they disciplined themselves to become professionals, professional artists. It wasn't just because, well, I like music a little bit, I am trying. No, they loved it. The love provided the discipline. Now it's a blissipline. They can come up here without music and play. I'm not asking them to do it right now. Hold your horses. But it comes out of love. So when you love God? Do you love God? You love God? Do you love beauty? You love intelligence? You love wisdom? Oh my God. Then you develop a love affair. And that love affair brings you into rich moments of what looks like a discipline. You wake up. You don't let the day take your mind. You wake up and you kind of work yourself to have your first couple of thoughts saying, oh, I've got the confidence and strength to handle anything that comes up today. God is with me. There's nothing against me. You have a level of discipline about being gratitude when you wake up. You have a little discipline about sitting in the silence and praying and having your soulful affirmation. Whatever your spiritual practice is, you have a level of discipline around it, and it carries you through even when you're unmotivated because you have a discipline. Athletes know about this. They have fundamental things that they do. They're fundamentals. And even when they don't feel like it, they go through the fundamentals and then something takes over and they find themselves having more energy than they thought they had when they didn't feel like it. So the awareness is one, discipline is a good thing and it leads to blissipline, which means, it's just like, oh my God, you just feel good about it. It's like, I love I love playing my instruments. I love singing. I love dancing. It's like he took all that discipline and it became a blissipline. After a while, you won't leave home without it, baby. It's just like you got to have a moment of touching the presence. Woo-wee. And then the other way that you stay in alignment is you become aware that you do not belong to the world. You don't belong to the world. No. You live and move and have your beingness in God. You don't belong to the world. The world is a configuration of opinions, points of view, manipulation, seduction, intimidation, provocation. It's a hypnotic spell that's pulling people into gross materialism and hate and separation. You don't belong to that world. That is not the world you belong to. You can witness it. You can see it. You can name it. You can understand it. But that's not your world. You see, you belong to God. Say, I belong to God. Now, if you're here new to Agape, we don't subscribe to the fact that God is a guy in the sky. No. We fired that God a long time ago. Out! We understand that God is a presence that's never an absence. You must worship God in spirit and in truth. Not in man and in truth, not in false idols and in truth. In spirit. God is spirit. Capital S, spirit, you see. And so we open ourselves up to this awareness. And then the world, as it appears to be, we don't belong to it. It doesn't belong to us. We belong. Sometimes you need to play this little exercise with yourself. Today, I'm coming from heaven. I'm bringing heaven to earth. I'm coming from heaven. I'm bringing heaven to earth. And everything that you think heaven is, ever-expanding good, divine love, I'm bringing it. Say, I'm bringing it. I'm bringing heaven. And so then you become aware of this, factoid. I've always wanted to say that word, factoid. It's actually a truism. The challenges that you face are oftentimes what you call forward to develop the capacity to hold more energy and to activate potential. The challenge, sometimes the surface mind says, I don't want this challenge, it's too hard. No. If you stand and say, I'm ready to live a bigger vision for my life, I want to be more me, the universe begins to design for you a particular lesson, of which will bring you to a higher order of being. Just as Dr. Thurman used to talk about the fact of this wonderful seed that is released by a tree, and it never, ever germinates for years unless there's a forest fire. And when that forest fire hits, it is the only thing that is hot enough to break open this seed so that the potential within the seed can come forward, and then there are roots and shoots, and then new life, new forest fire. There is something within you sometimes that the challenge will bring forth the gift. And so you are not to say, I don't want challenges. You have got to understand that when you set something in motion, there will be, at times, something to come up. And you may try to blame other people for it and this and that, but if you take 100% responsibility for your own life and 100% responsibility for your own attitude, as Viktor Frankl reminds us, 100% for your attitude, as Clarence Chance reminded us of. Clarence Chance was an individual that was thrown in jail for a crime he didn't do because he fit the profile. And he was in jail for over 17 years for something he didn't do. But while he was in jail, he transformed his consciousness and said, I am not going to allow the past to come into present moment. He began to practice meditation, present moment breathing, and he became free in prison. And ultimately, the organization that deals with finding innocent, maybe the Innocent Project, discovered his case, and he was released after 17 years. He came out with not one moment of bitterness. He did come out with the multimillionaire. Anyway, he came out with that. They had to pay, right? Where's Reverend Cheryl? Because you were a part of that. Reverend Cheryl what was your job then? Senior assistant to the city attorney, so you saw those checks. Yes. So she knows what I'm talking about. But the point being, 100% responsible for your own attitude. You see? And so if you take 100% responsibility for your own attitude, you're not letting anybody off the hook. But you get to determine your own joy and your own happiness and your own peace. And in the midst of a challenge, you can shape-shift your attitude. Become so grateful and thankful that freedom shows up, love shows up, right action shows up, wisdom shows up in a way that is beyond your wildest imaginings. Now, before 1986, before we started Agape, I was teaching practitioners. I was teaching a practitioner class. Just to give you a little background, just a little bit. Even before Agape was established, I was an assistant minister at the Guidance Church of Religious Science. I ran the youth ministry. And then I was a full-time practitioner, which meant I saw 4, 5, 6 people every single day, 5, 6 days a week, counseling, did workshops, things of that particular nature. And then, ultimately, I became the director of training at a World Ministry of Prayer, and I was teaching practitioners. They'd fly in to learn from me. And subsequently, I was invited. Then I ultimately graduated from the School of Ministry. It took me 5 years to get through a 3-year program. Because I wasn't interested in graduating. I just loved being in the conversation. Really, seriously. I wasn't trying to graduate. I just loved being in the conversation with expanded people. And one day the assistant dean comes up to me and she says, "Michael." I said, "Yes?" She says, "When are you going to graduate?" I said, "I'm not trying to graduate. I just like taking classes." And she said, "Well, are you aware if you become an alumni of the school, all your classes are free?" I said, "Really?" I took a full load, set myself up. Anyway, Coco was a member of this particular church. So was Joan Stedman, Eunice Chalfant, Bill Ropel, Richard Stewart, and others. And they wanted me to be the minister of this church. And I was like, I don't think there's an alignment with this. And I said, but I'll throw my hat into the ring, see what happens. Oh, my God. There was a group of people on their board of trustees that felt that a melanated person should not have this position. And they were doing everything possible to keep a brother down. They started lying about me, and they didn't know I knew, but Joan and Eunice were on the board, and they were talking freely in front of them because they just figured that Joan and Eunice were racist too. So they were just talking all this stuff. Well, he really didn't graduate from the school. And I had the highest test ever at coming out of the school, by the way. I mean, I'm just factoid. Anyway. And they started saying that if he takes over, people are going to start parking their car on the lawn, the property value is going to go down. And, oh, my God, they started saying all this stuff about my ancestry. On and on and on. But that challenge took me to the depth of forgiveness. I couldn't allow them to sully my consciousness. I know who I am. I couldn't allow, and so I went in. It took me into a deep and abiding prayer for them, a deep and abiding forgiveness. Eventually, I said, you know what, I'm taking my hat out of this ring. You guys get yourself together. There was an earthquake, and it split the church down the middle. I'm not saying anything about it. I'm not judging it. I'm just giving you facts. They ended up hiring a woman. They quickly hired a woman so they could say that they were diverse. And she ended up setting some things up by which she stole a lot of money. So all the stuff they were afraid of happened. I'm not laughing at them. No, I'm not. But I am laughing at how the universe operates. But the point being, that challenge came. And it prepared me for ministry. It developed a kind of a thick skin. It's like I work for God. And I said at that moment, I am never going to put myself in a position to work for a little human being determine my destiny. It's not going to happen. So thus, I finally surrendered to allowing Agape to be established, even though there was all kinds of prophecy and all kinds of movement in my soul. And I just resisted. I didn't want to do it. I resisted. I don't want to do this. I like my life. I got my weekends off. I'm seeing counselors. I'm praying. I'm doing my own workshops whenever I want. I don't want to do it. Okay. And I'm not giving you other backstories that pushed me into this, because there was some stuff going on politically where I was working too. And I said, all right, I give in, I give up. I'm starting a vision group. Reverend Coco was in the vision group. You know how I met Reverend Coco? Okay, all of this is going on. I'm coming back and speaking on a regular basis because the congregation was like 98% wanted me to be the minister of this community. They were upset when I did not do it. But I see Reverend Coco. She wasn't Reverend at the time. She wasn't even a practitioner. She was out in the front of the church with a little baby in her arm with a petition.
I signed that petition.
Reverend Jones said she signed that petition that said in substance it was okay to have a black man to be the minister of this church. She had a petition. And I met her, and we talked, and I said, you got a petition? That a black man could be the... Anyway, that board took the petition from her, and she went and got it back. But it was just too much Michigas, Susie. I said, I'm not, no, you guys got to get your stuff together. But that's how I met Coco. And then Coco and her husband, Richard, who became a member of the Board of Trustees, and Joan, and Eunice, and Bill, and others, they left that church and moved to L.A. to help start a vision group for Agape. So the challenge that came up with all this stuff just prepared me that I forgive quickly. I've heard all kinds of things about myself over the years. It's like, what, really? I wasn't even there. But it rolls off. I love people that don't like me. I don't care. I care about God's vision. 39 years of love in action, prayer, love made visible, prayer in action, vision building a community. And we're just getting started. Just getting started. Just getting started. And so, while you're doing that, let me tie my shoe. And so, you know what you're clapping for? I've had many iterations of vision groups, board of trustees. You're practitioners, ministers. You are clapping for all these teams. Nobody does anything by themselves. It's teams of ministers, practitioners, board of trustees that are behind the scenes doing work. They're not fooling around. They're doing work to hold this vision, to make sure that it continues to unfold, to glorify the living one, the divine presence, God. Love made visible, prayer made into action, vision into community. And we're celebrating that. Now, you've heard me say over the years that we are here to localize a cosmic celebration. If you've never heard that before, this is what that means. The entire cosmos, which was birthed out of the heart mind of the infinite, and then the multidimensional universes, the solar systems, the galaxies, the planets, and there's trillions of them now. You know, don't get all ego-y about, well, Earth is the only one where there is life. We don't have any evidence that there's no life anywhere else in the cosmos. We are the ones. Don't trip. And when they used to trip on Galileo when he talked about the earth was revolving around the sun, he had to recant just to stay alive. So we don't get into, well, we're the only ones. There's no other beings in the entirety of trillions of galaxies. But the point is, all of the cosmos is in celebration at being able to participate in the realm of the divine. You, who have the consciousness of being able to think about what you think about, and you have the consciousness to grow into the fact of the truth that you are pure awareness and can participate in your own unfolding, you must consciously celebrate. The same way that the cosmos is celebrating being in the realm of the divine, we are here as a community to localize that cosmic celebration until our entire being moves to a blissipline of celebration, not denying challenges, not denying the world as it appears to be. It doesn't belong to us. We don't belong to it. Not denying the heartaches, not denying the things that happen in the human condition. But we developed such a spiritual practice that we celebrate the divine to the best of our ability, moment by moment by moment. And how do you do that? Try this negative affirmation for a moment. Imagine for a moment that everything that you have is suddenly gone. The things you take for granted, the people you take may be taken for granted. It's just gone. You don't have it anymore. You don't have the money in the bank. You don't have the clothes. You don't have the shoes on your feet. You don't have anything. Just imagine for a second it's all gone. Boom. Don't imagine that too much. Now, come back. If you do that negative affirmation, you begin to be grateful for everything you have. You don't complain about it. You be glad you have it. You're grateful for what you have so that you can be available to more pouring through you. Localize a cosmic celebration. Whatever it is you have, bless it. Oh my God, listen. You can bless your clothes when you get up in the morning. Because you know why? And your food? Because the whole world is in those clothes. Somebody got a sheep and did some work. Got some wool. Somebody did something that you don't even know to bring this into being. You are wearing the world. When you eat, you're eating all this stuff that people have done. Syrup from Canada, whatever. We are the world. We're wearing it. We're eating it. And so every time you just take nothing for granted and bless everything. Oh my God, let it become a blissipline. Let it become a blissipline until it changes your life, and then you will begin to see. I'm telling you, I know this for a truth. You'll begin to see a different world. You won't be clouded by the news media. That's a world. That's another world. You begin to see all flesh shall see it together. You'll begin to see a different world, and then you'll be the ambassador of the world that most people can't see. You will love, you will give, you will glow, you will be quick to forgive. You won't hold any grudges. You won't hold resentment. You will love. Dr. Thurman, I want to be more loving in my heart. Do you realize that we meditated upon that statement every single week and others so that we can embody that? Woo! I almost started crying when Coco was up here talking because it just took me and said, oh my God. I remember when she came up to me and said, I've heard your voice, I'm following you. Where are we going? What are we going to do? Oh, I guess it's time to start something. Okay, I think that's it. Listen.